Robinson, your science teacher for this semester. And last week we went over some natural water resources that we can find them, or natural water sources, not resources, right? We learned about streams and rivers and lakes and other stuff. We saw lots of examples, and it was really great. Well, this week we're going to go a little bit further, and we are going to talk about some ways we can use soil, water, and rocks. Okay, we're going to find some resources. So last time we just talked about natural sources. We're going to see resources we can use making those. So let's look at our objective. I can identify how rocks, soil, and water are used to make resources. So I can identify, that means we're going to be able to find different ways, right? We're going to be able to identify or point it out how rocks, soil, and water are used to make resources. So let's first start with rocks. I want you to get out your notebook. I'm going to give you guys 1 minute to get out your notebook, boys and girls. All right. So in our notebooks, we are going to write a big circle. And inside that big circle, we're going to make a small circle with the word rocks. I'll give you guys 30 seconds to draw this. Okay, I feel like we've had enough time to write down rocks. Now what I want you to do is I'm going to give you 30 seconds, and I want you to think about, what do you know about rocks already? Think about what you know, what you remember, what do they look like, and you can start writing some things in this middle circle, or this middle area, right? Think of stuff that you know about rocks. All right, now what I want you to do, before we write down some examples of what they look like and what they feel like, I'm going to give you 2 minutes. I want you to go outside. I want you to find some rocks. I want you to feel them and notice what you observe. And bring your notebook with you. Write down what you observe and feel. You can even bring that rock in if your parents or whoever you live with allows you to. So 2 minutes to do that. One more minute for those of you who are still here. about 30 seconds to get settled back in. All right. So some things you might have written or thought about are, and I'm going to start writing them. And if you don't have it, I want you to write it down. And if you do have it, you don't have to worry about it. Well, we might notice that they're bumpy. Some are bumpy. Some parts of the rocks are smooth and some are rough. They're usually what we call neutral colors or like browns, grays, blacks, right? They also can be kind of heavy, right? Some of them feel really heavy to hold, so they can be heavy. All right, I'm going to give you 30 seconds to write all this down. All right, so we wrote some of this stuff down. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to give you another 2 minutes, and I want you to walk around your house or around the outside of your house or apartment or wherever you live and see what things do you see in your house or on the building that look like they are made of rocks. They look or feel like they could be made of rocks. I'm going to give you 2 minutes for this. All right, let's finish up. So a couple of things, there could be a couple of things you noticed, or maybe you really struggled to see what rocks are part of or a resource of that are made, help make up. So I want you to think about the building, your school building or your house, and what do you think it's made of? Rocks help make the materials that help build your houses and your apartments and the school. So I want us to draw a picture of a building, whatever building you want. I'm going to give you 3 minutes to draw a picture. 3 minutes to draw a picture of a building. I'm actually going to shorten it to 2 minutes because I feel like it won't take us that long to draw this. And I want us to also put in a sentence about what we drew. So I'll give you 1 more minute. All right, so together we're going to write a sentence, and I'm going to leave a blank for you to fill out what you think goes there. So we drew a picture of a building, and I'm going to say, my school building is made up of blank. And I want you to answer that sentence. I want you to write the whole sentence and fill the blank in with what you think goes there. Remember, boys and girls, when we're making sentences, we start with a capital letter and we end with a period. I'm going to give you guys a minute and a half to write this down and fill it in with what you think goes there. 1 minute and a half. All right, so now we're going to move on. We talked about some rocks. Now we're going to talk about another resource that we can use for things, and that's called soil, right? We know what soil is. I want you to turn if someone's next to you and talk to them. What is soil? What does it look like? What is soil and what does it look like? I'll give you 30 seconds. All right, now let's turn to a new page in our notebook, to the next page, and we're going to write like what we just did for rocks with soil. We're going to draw a small circle with a big circle over it and soil in the small circle. Giving you 30 seconds to write this. All right, I'm giving you another 30 seconds to write down what you know about soil that you just talked about with the person next to you. I'm going to give you another 30 seconds to write down what you know about soil, what it looks like, what it feels like, anything you know about it. All right, now I want you to go outside again, and I'm going to give you guys 1 minute to go outside, look at some soil, feel it, and bring your notebook with you to write down anything else you'd like. I'm going to give you a little over a minute and 15 seconds. Actually, I'm giving you 2 minutes because you might have to get your shoes on to go out there. 2 minutes to go out there and write down anything you notice about soil. About 1 more minute. All right, some things we can write about soil. It's usually brown or dark brown. It's not very smooth. It's usually rough or bumpy. It's on the ground, right? We know it helps grow things, right? That's how our plants and our organisms grow. So we know one resource just from this. Actually, I'm going to give you guys 1 minute to write down anything you don't have down yet. 1 minute to write down anything you don't have down yet. All right, so we know one resource, or one way that soil is used as a resource is to help plants grow. So I'm going to draw a picture of that really quick. I need to have soil. And I'll have some plants growing out of it. Another thing you guys might not know soil helps um, is part of making bricks, right? We see bricks on the school buildings usually. Those they're like this, they look like rectangles and they're like reddish brownish. Those are made from soil. I'm gonna draw a picture of some bricks. I'm gonna give you guys 1 minute to draw a picture of this. Of your version of a plant growing in soil and some bricks. 1 minute. All right, we can finish our picture later if we need to. We're going to create a sentence together, and I'm going to leave it blank again. So, soil is used to, I want you to write this with me. Soil is used to plant. I want you to write, I'm going to give you 1 minute to write this down. I'm going to write to help plants grow. I'm going to write to help plants grow. You might be to say to build bricks or anything else you know they might be used for. I'm giving you 1 minute for this. All right, so now we know more about soil. Now we're going to talk about our last natural resource for today. Let me turn to a new page. This time we don't have to go outside for this one because we already know what it is. Our next one we're going to write about is water. So let's make that big circle and that small circle. And I want you to write this And then also write around what you know about water. If you have to go to the sink for a second to feel it, that's fine. I'm only giving you guys about 40 seconds for this because you guys know a lot about water, right? We wash our hands with it every day. All right, some things we might say about water is it's wet, clear, right? Water's clear. When there's a lot of it, it looks bluish. And it can be really warm or really cold, right? It has lots of different temperatures. Again, I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to write this stuff down. And we're going to leave some space for a picture, but we're going to write our sentence stem first. We're going to say water is used for blank. And while you're writing that, I'm going to just talk about it. Water can be used for a lot of different things, right? We can get water and just go play in it, but as a resource, it also helps plants grow like we talked about. We use it to wash our hands and wash our bodies and wash our hair, right? We use it to wash things. We use it to help our bodies grow by drinking it. Drinking water is very, very important for us. So I'm going to have you draw a picture of whatever it is that you use it for and fill in this statement. So I'm going to give you about 1 minute to draw a picture. I'm drawing a picture of bubbling water because it's being used to wash someone, I guess, their hands, and I'll use purple for the soap. And I'm giving you about 30 more seconds to fill in your answer, what you feel like it does for you. All right, so we got to a little bit, we didn't talk super much about water today, but we talked about water a lot last week. And we talked about some natural sources such as soil, rocks, and water, and how we can use them as resources to help out our environment or help us out. Next week, we'll talk about how we can reuse these resources to help our environment more. I hope you guys have a great week. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.